You're standing in line at the coffee shop and you feel it, that weight on your chest, that certainty that everyone behind you, judging your outfit, judging how long you're taking, judging the sound of your voice when you order. But here's what's actually happening. They're not thinking about you at all. And the reason you feel this way has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with a trick your brain is playing on you right now. A trick that's been running in the background of your mind since you were a child. And by the end of this video, you're gonna see it clearly. Let me paint you a picture. You walk into a room, maybe it's a party, maybe it's a meeting at work, and immediately you feel exposed, like a spotlight just turned on. You're suddenly aware of your hands. Where do they go? You're aware of your face. Are you smiling too much? Not enough? You sit down and you swear you can feel eyes on you. Someone laughs across the room and your stomach drops. Are they laughing at you? You replay what you just said, how you walked in, what you're wearing. You scan faces for signs. A glance, a smirk. Anything that confirms what you already believe. That everyone can see it. And the worst part, this doesn't just happen at parties. It happens everywhere. When you post something online and no one likes it right away. When you're eating alone in public. When you speak up in a group and your voice shakes. On the someone and they don't smile back. Every single moment becomes evidence. Evidence that you're being watched, evaluated, found lacking. You feel like you're on trial every day of your life. And you're losing. So, why does this happen? Why do you feel like everyone is judging you when, rationally, you know they're probably not? It starts with something called the spotlight effect. Your brain genuinely believes that people are paying way more attention to you than they actually are. It's like you're walking around with an invisible spotlight above your head, and you're convinced everyone is looking. But they're not, because they have their own spotlight, and they think everyone is looking at them. Here's the thing. Your brain is wired to be self-focused. You experience life from inside your own head. Every mistake you make, every awkward thing you say, every flaw you see in the mirror, you experience it in high definition. You feel the embarrassment, the heat in your face, the replay that loops in your mind for days. So naturally, you assume that if it's that loud and obvious to you, it must be obvious to everyone else too. But it's not. Because while you're obsessing over the thing you said 5 minutes ago, the person you said it to has already moved on. They're thinking about their own stuff, their own worries, their own spotlight. But there's something deeper here, something that explains why this feeling is so strong. And it's this: you're not actually afraid of their judgment. You're afraid of your own. Let me say that again. The voice you hear when you think everyone is judging you, that's your voice. It's the voice that's been inside your head for years, cataloging every mistake, every flaw, every reason you're not enough. And because as that voice is so loud, so constant, so brutal, you project it outward. You assume that everyone else must see what you see, must think what you think, must judge you the way you judge yourself. This is the core of it. You feel judged because you are being judged. Just not by them. By you. Your brain, trying to make sense of this constant inner criticism, creates a story. A story where the danger is external, where the judgment is coming from the people around you. Because that's easier to understand. That's easier to defend against. If the problem is out there, you can avoid it. You can hide. You can perform. You can try to control how people see you. But if the problem is in here, in the voice inside your own head, then what? And this doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It changes your entire life. You start making decisions based on invisible judges. You don't raise your hand because what if your question is stupid? You don't post your art because what if people think it's bad? You don't go to the party because what if no one? You don't ask for the promotion. You don't send the text. You don't try. And slowly, quietly, you make yourself smaller. You edit yourself down into a version you think will be acceptable. Safe. You trade authenticity for approval. And the cruelest part, you never actually get the approval because you're chasing something that doesn't exist. You're trying to satisfy a version of other people that only lives in your mind. Over time, this becomes exhausting. You're performing all the time, monitoring, trying to stay one step ahead of the judgment you're sure is coming. And the hypervigilance wears you down. You become anxious in situations that should be neutral. You reread into things that mean nothing. You isolate yourself because it feels safer than being seen. And the loneliest part, you start to believe that this is just who you are. You're just an anxious person. A self-conscious person. Someone who wasn't built for ease or confidence or connection. But it's not true. This isn't a personality, it's a pattern. And patterns can change. Here's the shift. The moment you realize that the judgment you've been running from is your own, everything changes. Because you can't control what other people think. You never could. But you can change the relationship you have with your own inner voice. You can stop outsourcing your worth to people who aren't even paying attention. You can stop performing for an audience that doesn't exist. And you can start living like someone who belongs here. Because you do. The truth is, most people are not thinking about you, and that's not an insult. It's freedom. They're not studying your flaws. They're not replaying your mistakes. They're not building a case against you. They're living their own lives inside their own heads, worried about their own spotlights. And the few people who are actually judging you harshly, they're doing it because they judge themselves. Hurt people hurt people. Judged people judge people. Their criticism has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of what's happening inside them. So what do you do? How do you actually break this pattern? Let me give you simple steps, not theory. Not someday, right now. First, catch the thought. The next time you feel that wave of judgment, that certainty that everyone is staring, pause. Name it. Say to yourself, that's the spotlight effect. That's my brain overestimating how much people care. Just naming it takes away some of its power. It reminds you that this is a feeling, not a fact. You're not observing reality. You're interpreting it through a very specific, very biased lens. And once you see the lens, you can start to question it. Second, talk to yourself like to a friend. This is the big one. Notice the voice in your head. The one that says you're embarrassing, you're annoying, everyone thinks you're weird. Would you ever say that to someone you love? No. So why is it okay to say it to yourself? Start interrupting that voice. When it says you messed up, say I'm learning. When it says people are judging you, say people are busy living their own lives. When as you're not enough, say I'm doing my best and that's enough. It will feel awkward at first, fake even. But over time, this new voice gets stronger, and the old one gets quieter. Third, do the thing anyway. Even if you feel judged, even if the spotlight feeling is still there. Post the thing, say the thing. Wear the outfit. Take up space. Because every time you act, despite the fear, you prove to yourself that the fear was lying. You prove that you can survive being seen. That being imperfect is not dangerous. That people's opinions, real or imagined, do not define you. And little by little, your nervous system starts to believe it. The spotlight dims. The hypervigilance eases. You start to move through the world like someone who has nothing to prove. Here's the truth that no one tells you. Everyone feels this way sometimes. Everyone. The person who looks confident, they've felt it. The person with 1 million followers, they've felt it. The person who seems like they have it all together, they've definitely felt it. You are not broken. You are not uniquely flawed. You are human. And being human means carrying around an inner critic that sometimes gets too loud. It means living in a brain that overestimates danger and underestimates your ability to handle it. But it also means you have the capacity to change, to grow, to choose a different. You are not here to be perfect. You are not here to win the approval of people who are too distracted by their own lives to even notice. You are here to be yourself, messy, perfect as you go. And the people who are worth your energy, they're not judging you. They're just grateful you showed up. So the next time you feel that weight, that certainty that everyone is watching, remember this: they're not. And even if they were, you'd be okay. You've survived every moment of judgment, real or imagined, that you've ever experienced. You're still here, still trying, still showing up. And that's not weakness, that's strength. If this video helped you see things a little differently, I'd love for you to subscribe, not because I need you to, but because there's more where this came from, and maybe, just maybe, you could use the reminder that you're not alone in this.